And now we go on the completely other end of the emotional spectrum for me, as I just...
Yeah.
Albeit I was calmer than I expected talking about Toy Story, I do not know if I will be able to be as calm for this next story as, James Gunn being, once again, overly active on Twitter to the point of it's entertaining for some of us, and we're just going, you don't have to answer every random question, but also it's just super random of the social medias that he chooses to interact with just in general. And so some website put up a post that was like, vote for what DC characters you would like to see James Gunn use in the future, to which he just like reposted on his Instagram. It's just like, oh, there's 10 of these. Does 5 of the 10 work for you? To which all of us just go,
Which 5, James?
Which 5 are you talking about? So in descending order, these were the 10 that were brought up, and this is in descent. I'll actually start with number 10. So these were like fan votes, and as they go higher, 10 to 1, it's who got the most fan votes. So number 10, John Constantine. Number 9, Mr. Freeze. 8, The Court of Owls. 7, Zatanna. 6, Jason Todd, Red Hood. 5, Deathstroke. 4, Brainiac. 3, Lobo. 2, Martian Manhunter. And number 1, the booty man himself, Dick Grayson Nightwing. To which I'm just going, I'll just ask this calmly and nicely one time, James Gunn, then I'll leave you alone. Which 5? Which 5 are you talking about? It better be you're casting 5 Nightwings in this universe and no one else. We just casted 5 Dick Graysons from different universes. We're making up for lost time here. We're going to have one in the Disco Nightwing suit. We're going to have one in the New 52 suit. We're going to have one leading the Teen Titans. No, let's be sensible here. We're just going to have one Nightwing that shows up in every movie going forward until the end of the DC universe. I also think that's Nightwing. 1, because it's me and I have to think that. But 2, I couldn't find it in my research now that I was, looking for it, but someone else put up a separate poll with 8 characters, and James Gunn responded to that and said, how about we use 4 of the 8? And the only character that had any crossover from the list that I just mentioned was Nightwing. So I'm going, so the crossover potential is pretty strong here.
Yeah.
But just taking the greatest comic book character of all time, not named Spider-Man, off this consideration, because I think that's a pretty safe bet. I think if he is just serious for now about 5 out of these 10 people will be showing up in the DC soon, I think it's got to be Dick Grayson, Lobo, Brainiac, Deathstroke, and Jason. Here's why. I think Jason and Dick Grayson will both show up in Brave and the Bold. Yep. I could see Deathstroke showing up in Brave and the Bold because Damian, Batman, and the rest of the Bat family, especially if we're going with that storyline of introducing Damian, Deathstroke has definitely played a part in that quite often.
Just a little bit.
Just once or twice. I think Brainiac is a no-brainer that could potentially... No, he's an all-brainer. He seems like a shoo-in to me to be in the Supergirl movie, or at least have some form of a connection to either Superman Legacy or the upcoming Supergirl movie. That just makes sense. And the other one, the worst-kept secret in DC right now, Jason Momoa potentially leaving the role of Aquaman and moving on to becoming Lobo instead. I actually think that's the main reason why Lobo got as many votes as he did in this poll here.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the rest of these, are on the table at some point. Martian Manhunter makes sense, but given that we just saw him fairly recently in Zack Snyder's Justice League, I don't know if he would be a frontrunner. Zatanna and John Constantine, I give about the same amount of odds here. I think both of them could potentially show up in that Swamp Thing movie.
I was going to say Constantine and Swamp Thing.
I actually think the least likely of these are Mr. Freeze and the Court of Owls, and the only reason I say they're the least likely is any, Batman enemy, I think might still be on the table for Matt Reeves' universe. So, Mr. Freeze, Matt Reeves has said so many times that he loves the character Mr. Freeze and would be open to using the character at some point in his movies. And Josh and I have been banging the drum that Court of Owls should show up at some point in the Matt Reeves Batman universe as well. So I think both of those could potentially be in a Batman movie, but I think they're better suited for the Reeves stuff for right now, depending on what he's doing. Who do you think James Gunn is referring to when he's talking about the 5 out of the 10?
I mean, yeah, I think that's the solid 5. I think Nightwing and Jason are a shoe-in. I don't think that would be hard to. I don't think we're stretching very far on that one. What will be interesting is if Lobo is not. I can't see Lobo showing up in the first phase. I just can't. He's a decent character, but I don't see it being like the stories that he's going to be telling being stories that would include Lobo. I don't, we'll see. I'm not 100% sure because we are kind of all over the place right now when it comes to the DCU for the better, in my opinion. I think the only reason Constantine is as low as it is it's not very clear as if the sequel with Keanu Reeves is greenlit or not. I've seen like some people saying that the script is written and stuff like that, but like it's never from a credible source, so I don't know. We will see, but I think Nightwing easily is, and Nightwing and Deathstroke are just easy. I don't see that being that far of a stretch for them to show up in in Brave and the Bold. And I'm almost like not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure Brainiac. He's already said Brainiac is in the comic of was it Woman of Tomorrow?
Something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like he's kind of technically already confirmed Brainiac is going to be a thing, but like we will absolutely see.
Brainiac just makes sense.
Yeah.
Now the real question is, I mean this half joking, half serious to motivate myself. What comes out first? Nightwing appearing in The Brave and the Bold, or me actually getting off my lazy butt and finally finishing Nightwing 2's script? I was making good progress, dang it, and then life happened. I'm determined that thing is coming out this year, though. And then it could tie in synergistically with the release of Brave and the Bold at some point, or some form of casting news. Yeah, I think he's the front runner, just because even right when he took over, he put that fan poll out of what DC character do the fans want to see the most. And Nightwing, unfortunately, came in second in that poll because not enough people are smart enough to vote for the right person. Thankfully, though, the person that did win the poll, Booster Gold, got a TV show. So, you took away a Nightwing show for me, people, because that's clearly the correlation that needs to be made here of whoever won that fan vote
clearly,
got the TV show. Clearly. I also think that we need to look at these 5 people that he's talking about. If it's the 5 that we're suggesting, I think he's picking those because you could spin them off into their own separate thing. Either Jason or Dick could be with the Titans. Dick, I'd prefer if it was like the Teen Titans and he's the leader, but Jason's been with the Titans too. More with the Outsiders, but I think that works. Deathstroke could easily be his own movie. That would be... can you imagine Deathstroke played by Frank Grillo from Warrior? Just like...
Let's go.
Yes. Brainiac could be his own thing. I think these characters lend themselves to be spun off into their own separate stories to expand the universe more.
Yeah, I agree. I think it just the expandability is better there. I would love to see if we get Titans, and so here's the interesting thing is because of how involved Deathstroke is with Damian and his upbringing. If they bring Damian into the Teen Titans, it almost feels like a go ahead for having their first major villain be Deathstroke. It'd be like having the old Teen Titans show again.
Except they can actually use the name Deathstroke and not just Slade because it's a children's show.
Yes. It'll be interesting to say the least. I think you and I are very much more positive in looking forward to this universe that he's building. I just like seeing what James is doing, honestly.